Hi there. I'm Amy Riles with Honestly Horses, and I thought I would just talk to you a little bit today about what it looks like for your young horse to have a good start so that when that horse reaches saddle training age, they are ready to do that work. We've raised a lot of foals, and I've had Morgan foals and quarter ponies. Our youngest quarter ponies this year are 4 or 5, I believe. It's been a while. But I have people email me regularly who have those quarter ponies and say, hey, we started that colt, easiest start ever. Loved the fact that that baby came in here as a weanling with really good ground manners, picking up its feet, standing tied, all of those things. So even our babies who go off to new owners early in life get a good start. And I thought I would just share what that looks like. We have a mare here that's about to foal, and her owner is a new foal mom. This is her first time to have a pregnant mare. And I just thought I would share what that looks like. I've also had some young horses in here for training recently, and it doesn't always look like I would like it to look. Sometimes horses come in here and they are so well mannered and they're so easy and they're so quiet and chill. It just makes my work easy. And sometimes they're not. Sometimes they've had things happen in life, or they haven't had things happen in life that needed to happen, and they're just not easy. And I learn from every one of them, and I'm super grateful for every opportunity that I have to work with horses. But I thought I would share what it looks like when you have a baby and what your job is as a breeder and should look like for you. So from day one, I put a halter on my foals when they're born, before they're even dry, and I take it off. I put it on, I take it off 3 or 4 times, and I rub my hands down all 4 legs and I touch their feet, and I get them okay with that, and I rub their heads really good and scratch their little tiny ears, and I just do all of that. But I don't do a heavy amount of imprinting. I have done that in the past, just not something I found was super beneficial for my horses. Everybody has their own way of doing it. I don't think one is right, one is wrong. I just do what works for me. We've had a lot of babies, started a lot of young horses. So anyway, I start there, and then as that foal progresses into that first week, I just spend time with them, even if it's just 5 minutes a day while mom is eating supper and that baby's kind of hanging out around and nursing. And that's a good opportunity for me to just get in there, put a halter on them, just gently teach them what it looks like to just kind of move away from pressure and to be okay with that halter on their face. I might gently move them forward with my hand behind their hip, and then gently move them backward with my hand at their chest, and just very, very lightly, very, very softly start to develop a good foundation for that baby horse. As they progress and they get to be bigger and stronger weanlings, I teach them to stand tied, and I go through a very specific process for that that's safe for that young horse. I do it pretty particularly because that's an important lesson they're going to learn that they'll carry throughout their entire lives. So I make sure that I do that well and safely, and that they're set up for success there. And I handle their feet regularly. I also teach them to be fly sprayed and to be okay with a water hose if the season is permissible for that. And then be groomed all over. I teach them to be comfortable with being groomed. And then I also take a rope, and I do a lot of rope work. I use a soft cotton rope, and I'll just put that rope around each foot and just ask that little horse to just give me that foot. And be okay with ropes in and out of between their legs and so forth. Not applying pressure there, just gently offering options to them, and letting them learn how to be comfortable when things are not always in a place they're used to. Putting that rope under their tail, wrapping it around their girth, their belly, their flank area, things like that. I do all of those with my weanlings. They remember everything, so then as they get a little older, that's just something that's foundation, and it's there, and they remember it well. I teach them to lead. I teach them to lead respectfully. I teach them to stand quietly to wait for someone to open a gate and for them to be fed. I teach them to pick up their feet. I might get my shoeing stand out and put a hoof on a shoeing stand and just teach them what that feels like and that it's not scary. I introduce them to clippers because though I don't clip a lot of whiskers and things, I do clip a bridle path, and I like my horses to understand that clippers are not going to eat them. And a lot of horses go on to be show horses, and clipping is something that happens. So they need to be okay with that. They need to not lose their mind when somebody turns on the clippers. So as a breeder and an owner, those are things I do with my babies so that I can set them up for success. And then when they hit that long yearling 2-year-old stage, I start putting them in a surcingle. I start putting saddle pads on them. I might put a lightweight English saddle on a 2-year-old and just let them wear it. I don't put weight on horses myself until they're at least 3. And when I start them at 3, that's light walk, trot work. The key is I work with each horse at that point at the state the horse is in. So if that horse has not had a good foundation, then the process of getting them started under saddle is going to take me longer, because all of those things that should be done as a foal or a weanling or a yearling, if they haven't been done, then that all has to be done. It can't be bypassed. It can be. I mean, you can definitely just go buck them out and get them riding, but I don't do things that way, and I don't know too many good, knowledgeable, reputable trainers who really do. I know trainers who will literally spend 8 months to a year just getting a horse riding under saddle, and I'm definitely one of those as well. I like to figure that first year is all part of that saddle training process. As far as getting them started goes, though, that's usually something that has to be geared towards that individual horse. Some are much more receptive to that than others. Some are defensive and reactive to new things, and that takes longer to work past. When I run into something like that with a youngster, a weanling or a foal, and they're really scared of something, then I will just slow that down a whole lot and make sure that I get that horse really comfortable with that situation and that new thing that I've introduced before I do anything else with them. A horse has to be in a really calm, thinking state of mind to learn, and what I'm trying to do with them is keep them thinking and keep them learning. So that's my goal with every single young horse that I have, and every single adult horse that I have, whether they're 3 or 10, doesn't matter. But thinking, learning go hand in hand. If they're in a calm state of mind and they're looking to me for direction, they can learn, and they usually learn quickly when that's the case. So I just thought I'd throw that out. That's what it looks like when you have a young horse and you want to get it off to the right start. A lot of people have babies on the ground this summer. A lot of people are looking for good advice as to how to handle that foal. Doesn't take hours a day, doesn't take minutes, even sometimes 5 minutes a day, just once a day, or even 10, 15 minutes, 3 days a week, if that's all you've got. That's a great opportunity to groom that baby, spend time with it, teach it to be comfortable with people and handling and interaction, and just set them up for success. I really, really think that's important. And then when that horse reaches the point where they're ready to be started under saddle, be prepared. If you're going to raise that foal yourself, prepare for that. Prepare for that financially, because it typically takes more than 30 days to get a good start on a nice saddle horse if it's done correctly. And that's something that you want to be prepared for financially, but also you want to be prepared for physically and emotionally, in the sense that that horse needs to be in a good place. And if you've done your work as a breeder and an owner, then that horse will go to the trainer, or you'll start that horse under saddle yourself. And that process will be so much easier for you if you do the work at home. I use my soft cotton rope with my youngsters anytime from 6 months to about 1.5 years. I take that rope, I put it around their girth, their mid-region, their flank, under their tail. I teach them how to relax and look for calm when those things happen and they're a little stressed, and that just helps them learn to be okay with that stuff. So when they've got a cinch on, when they've got a back cinch on, if I'm ponying them, they've got to be okay if a rope gets up under their tail, they get a little scared by that sometimes if they haven't been taught how to handle those situations. And those are all things that a young horse can learn before they're ever old enough or mature enough to ride. So I just encourage you, do your work. If you're gonna raise these horses, do your work. Be a responsible breeder and give them the very best start that you can give them. They'll thank you for it. Future trainers and owners will thank you for it if you don't plan on keeping that horse. And I think that's what it's about. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for the good of the horse. And whatever that looks like for each individual horse is what I strive for, trying to do the very best I can for that horse. So I just wanted to give you guys some insight, and I hope you all have fun playing with your babies. I can't wait till this one hits the ground here, and there'll be video, of course, to come, and pictures galore, I'm sure. It's a surprise foal that belongs to one of my good friends who keeps her mare here, and we're just really looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to helping her learn. She's a knowledgeable horsewoman, but she's never had a foal. I'm just looking forward to helping her with that process of getting that baby off to a great start in life. And that's all I have. Till next time, happy trails.